Welcome to Focus on DeSoto Today, a public information program produced by the City of DeSoto's Community Relations Department. This series of programs is designed to present in discussion format topics of current interest to DeSoto residents. I'm Kathy Jones, and I'll be your host today. And with me today, I have a group of great people from the Great Days of Service program, and I'd like to introduce you to them. First, we have Fred Morris, and you represent Hampton Road Baptist Church. Is that correct, Fred?
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. We also have Linda Harris with First United Methodist Church here in DeSoto. And then Angela Payne with River of Life Church.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Hi, Kathy.
Happy to be here.
Thank you.
Nice to be here.
Fred, tell us, what is Great Days of Service all about, and how did it get started?
Kathy, I want to thank you for the opportunity that we have to get together with you and talk about Great Days of Service, and also to express our appreciation for the fact that the City of DeSoto has partnered with us for the past 8 years since we began. Great Days of Service is a cooperative partnership of the Christian community here in DeSoto to aid our neighbors. As you see our motto on the back of our nice yellow t-shirts here, we say that we are serving Christ through building community. As Jesus said, if you have done it to the least of one of these, you have done it unto me. And as we see that there are needs in our community, that's what our program has been doing since 2005 when it first came here.
That's great. I know that it's not just one thing. Y'all do lots of different kinds of projects during this 1 week in June. Tell us a little bit about the different components to Great Days of Service.
Right now, if I can remember all of them right off the top of my head, and you guys can chime in when I miss one, but we do things like nursing home visitation. Each and every member, resident of each nursing home in the City of DeSoto receives a personal visit and a gift bag sometime during that week. We also do have a group that does sewing projects for hospitals, the nursing homes, support the police department with stuffed animals, things like that. We do a commodity drive, which has a couple of parts, one of which is to service the DeSoto Food Pantry, and we also work with the North Texas Food Bank for a day. Then we do home improvement to assist homeowners who need help with their property maintenance, upgrading, meeting code requirements, things like that. And related to that is what we call Operation Eden, which is coming and mowing the yard, trimming the hedges, and doing tidying up things like that. Then one day during that week, we do a public servant meal in which we invite you and all of the other city employees, the public servants, the teachers from the DeSoto ISD, our firemen, our policemen, our postal service workers, all public employees to come and participate and have lunch with us.
Wow, that's great. Well, obviously that takes a ton of volunteers to put this thing together. And Linda, I know you've been with this program since its inception. I think First United Methodist Church was kind of one of the instigators to bring this to DeSoto initially.
Right. In 2005, we had some people from Sherman come down to tell us how they did Great Days of Service, and there were several of us in the room, and Hampton Road and us, and there were a few other churches, and we were like wondering what in the world we'd gotten ourselves into, and because we had no clue what we were doing that first year, and like how many paintbrushes do you need, and where do we get the homes, and where do we get the money, and so we have been doing it, I think by now, and Fred's done a great job. It's a well-oiled machine, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody knows their role, but anyway, I have been involved in this year, I'm the coordinator for our church, First United Methodist, and my job will be to find people, the volunteers, to help on each committee. And so that will start our focus and our publicity. And we usually have maybe close to 100 volunteers each year from our church.
That's wonderful.
And everybody looks forward to it. It's a really big deal, and we talk about it, and we all have our yellow shirts.
So. And I know this is all done in 1 week. Tell us the week that this all takes place. I know it's in June.
Yeah, this year the week is June the 17th which is a Monday, ending on Saturday, the 22nd.
So we want to tell everybody, don't take your vacation during this week. 'Cause
Exactly.
we need you to
Right.
help be a volunteer.
Right.
Exactly.
Angela, how is your church involved in this program?
Well, last year was our first year being involved in it. Fred came to our pastor, Bishop Nichols, and presented the idea to him. He loved it. He passed it on to me basically because I head up the Harvest Outreach Ministry at our church to kind of get it started, to get it done. And that's what I did. I went out and we got everybody signed up that wanted to volunteer. I mean, several people signed up, and it was so rewarding for us. It was a wonderful experience. The public servant meal, visiting the nursing home, doing the yard work. We had so many people to volunteer for the yard work, men and women to volunteer for that, as well as the public servant meal. We just enjoyed that because the city workers, they were so grateful. They were coming in thanking us, they were leaving out thanking us. And that was just a wonderful experience. We participated in the food drive as well, being able to be a blessing to the DeSoto Food Bank as well as the North Texas Food Bank.
Well, we certainly appreciate your involvement.
Thank you.
I know one of the things, because the city gets involved in this, we help Great Days of Service advertise for the homes that need repair, and we have a criteria for it. They have to, the homeowner has to be elderly or disabled and financially unable to pay for these repairs. And I know, Fred, that's one of the big programs, Operation Eden, and the home repair program. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Right, and that's one of the things that when we're speaking to groups that we try to dispel to some degree, because many people, the home improvement piece is the only part of it that many people
that's the
do
most
hear
visible,
about.
I think.
And so we're trying to emphasize, in addition to home improvement, the fact of the nursing home and the sewing and the food drive, those type of things. But yes, home improvement for those who are elderly, who are financially unable to maintain the property, or are handicapped.
Right.
And the City of DeSoto is our clearinghouse for all of those applications, and I'm sure everybody will be made aware shortly through you guys that the applications are available and they can sign up through the end of May in order to get this done.
Right. That information will be in our March and April newsletters, and we'll encourage anybody that feels like they might qualify to please fill out an application. And there is a process they have to go through.
I might add that last year we do apologize that we got a late start, and the many people were not aware because of the late start until it was too late. So we did a couple of projects after Great Days of Service was over last year, simply because people did not have the opportunity.
Well,
so
that's
getting
wonderful that
in
you
this
did.
early this year should give everybody the opportunity to get their applications in.
We appreciate the opportunity to help people with this, because it really helps us from a code enforcement perspective. I also understand there's this group called the Army that's coming to help.
Yes.
I know Linda knows a little bit about it because they're a Methodist group, but tell us about the Army, Fred and Linda.
Well, you want to give us a background on Army there?
Well, the Army was started several years ago, and I looked it up on the website because I'm never sure what Army stands for, but it's the United Methodist Action Reach Out Mission by Youth. And their mission is to provide Christ-centered quality youth work camps that serve people in need and promote spiritual growth and leadership development in youth. And last year we had, 65 young people, college and high school age, came from Houston and Midland and Commerce, Texas. And they all camp out, they camped out at our church last year. And it was a big undertaking, and all the different churches helped feed them. It was wonderful to see all these other churches helping the Methodists feed all these young people. And then they went out and did the hands-on ministry and the hard work repairing homes. And I know you want to probably say some more about that. But
They're trained and
as a matter of
earn their
fact,
own money.
they come with their own program. They have their own daily regimen. They will select the projects that come through the city.
Right.
And last year, as a matter of fact, they took all projects except one. And then what Great Days of Service volunteers will do is come in and pick up on the projects that the Army did not. There were a couple of benefits that added 60 strong backs.
Absolutely.
And a lot of energy from the kids. And we learned on the last evening of Great Days of Service week, when we heard the testimonies of property owners whom these youth had worked that week, just how much it meant to them to have youth come and do this. They said, you know, it has changed my idea about what our youth are about this day in time significantly. So we're hoping this year to have more projects, and the Army is coming back. As a matter of fact,
that's great.
We enjoyed having them, and they apparently enjoyed being here. So another group, not the same group, but another group is coming this year.
Well, great. Well, we'll roll out the red carpet for them, hopefully. And I know we also talked about another program that we're going to be implementing this year. One of the things the city has that's a problem for the city is that houses need to be marked with their house numbers where they're clearly visible. And we even have a city ordinance that requires that, because when the police officer or the fire truck's trying to find your house, if your numbers are on the sidewalk or on your curb and a car's parked in front of it, they can't find your house. So one of our programs is this house numbering program, and I understand a group of the local kids are going to help us with that this year. Tell us how that's going to work, Fred.
We are now searching for and are taking volunteers for
So a plea.
One to head up this street marking project and to get it organized. We envisioned that it would be a 2-weekend project, that after the city notifies us of the homes that need properly numbered, that we'll have a crew come by and survey to see what numbers are needed and where they would put the numbers, and then procure the proper numbers, and then a week or two later they'd come back and actually attach the numbers.
Well, that'll be a huge help for us. I mean, it's a thing that's kind of an ongoing issue for our city, and we'd much rather have a group of nice young men and women come out and install them for them than us writing them a ticket because they don't have that. So that really is a huge help for us.
Do you actually write tickets and citations for that?
I don't know that they write tickets, but they probably give them a warning and say,
okay.
please come up to code on this. So, but I guess if it got really bad, they could. But it's not, in the scheme of things, it's not a big issue for DeSoto. Angela, is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, I'd just like to encourage those other churches that have not been a part of Great Days of Service to join the Great Days of Service, because we had a wonderful time on last year being a part of Great Days of Service, just giving back and helping somebody else that may not have been able to be helped. So I just want to encourage any other church, no matter what size, to just come in and just make this thing greater than it was last year, so we can help even more people this year.
Great. We support you in that. And all the volunteers come from each church, and you all manage your own volunteers. Is that the way I understand it?
Well, we manage them, but if they're working on nursing home, they'll commingle. I mean, the fun part is meeting all these people from the other churches.
Yes.
Through the nursing home, through the home improvement, we're all out there painting and sweating together. And so you meet really neat. I've met so many nice people in DeSoto from all the different churches that, as we have worked on all these projects through the years. And I want to say we have had tons of volunteers from the community that are not part of any of these churches. And every year we call on them, and they love to help. And so I have a list. And every year when we start over, I'll call them, because they're eager to come and stand on a ladder and paint or do whatever we need to do.
Great.
One thing I want to say, and Fred hadn't mentioned this, but money's always an issue, and we got to raise money, and we've had great help through the Lions Club and the Rotary Club. But any other organization in DeSoto besides the churches that want to, give us a donation, I'm sure that Fred would be glad to accept it.
And in one of the big things we had last year with the Army crew here, being teenagers, they like to eat. And as Linda mentioned, we fed them, the various churches fed them. But we also had a free night and went to swim one evening. And we had several of our merchant sponsors from here in DeSoto that furnished food. We had
great.
burgers and fries.
So in-kind donations work just as well as cash.
And then we had donations of bottled water and other things, because you know what it's like in June in Texas, working outside all day, and you need to stay hydrated.
Absolutely. And I can remember one day, and I think it was Linda, when I was out sweating, she came by with popsicles about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That was great. That really hit the spot. So there's lots of needs that if you don't want to work, there's a lot of other ways that you can benefit this program.
Right. Yeah. Right.
One of the other new areas that we're trying to get started, and the viewers of this program may be exactly who we need to appeal to, is we'd like to start a story time during the week.
Fun.
And maybe use the library or one of the local churches or some other public place. And what we need are readers. Young readers, middle-aged readers, elderly readers who would like to sit down and tell stories, read stories to the kids, and we want to publicize when the story times are during the week so that the kids can come and listen to stories. So we need readers, and we need somebody to organize.
That's a great opportunity. It really sounds like there, no matter what your ability is, there's something, a way that you can be involved in this program.
Yes.
Okay, well, if I'm a volunteer out there in TV land and I'd like to sign up, who do I call? How do I do that? Go through my church, call you, or you? How's the best way?
One, if you're a member of one of the participating churches, and we have a list of those participating churches, could I borrow your sheet there? The Church of the Disciple, Church on the Hill, DeSoto Presbyterian, Faith Bible Church, First Christian Church, First United Methodist, Hampton Road Baptist, Disciple Central Community Church, and if you're not aware of that, that was Johnson's Chapel Community Church, Jubilee Community Christian Church, River of Life Church, St. Anne's Episcopal, and Windsor Park Baptist. Now those are the official participants. We are preparing to send out letters to every other church in DeSoto that we can identify and ask them if they will join us.
Great.
Last year we had 12 churches plus a couple of social organizations who were a participant, and we had over 450 volunteers. Just think what it would be like if every church in DeSoto were a part of this, as to what could be accomplished in the name of Christ.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
So the question is, if they're not a member of the church, should they call you? Or email?
Yeah, I have an email address, and I also have a telephone number, and those are the ways that you can, in addition to getting with one of the participating churches, you can get in touch with us. Or I suppose if they called you, Kathy, you know how to
I would direct them also then.
Yeah.
And I'm at City of DeSoto. People call me all the time, so I'd be happy
I
to
don't
take
know
those
if you
calls.
want to put my telephone number and email
Yes,
address.
we'll make sure it's on the bottom of the screen
Right.
while we're doing this. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm excited. Tell us again the week. It's in June 17th, I believe, through...
Week of June the 17th through the 22nd, yes. The Army kids will be arriving on Sunday the 16th, and then hit the ground running on Monday morning the 17th, and we'll be in there also. We will have a prayer breakfast with all of the participants, the Army and the Great Days of Service volunteers on that Monday morning, and then we wind up the week with a reflection and worship time on Friday night.
Perfect. And there'll be yellow shirts all over town.
All over
working
town.
that week.
Right.
Yes.
And we may even put some year pins on these yellow shirts for those who have done this for the 8 or 9 years that we have been here.
Absolutely. Well, okay. Thanks, everybody. I'm so happy you were here and so excited to have this great benefit for our community. I'd like to thank my panel once again, Angela Payne, Linda Harris, and Fred Morris. Thank you so much for telling us about Great Days of Service today. And I'd also like to thank our viewers for tuning in to another edition of Focus on DeSoto Today.